Happy Monday, Alabama, and everybody. Today we play for the Big Sweet 16 National Championship game against Clemson tonight. Had a wonderful weekend. I'm trying to bask in this sun since my vitamin D is low. Trying to get me some natural vitamin D. Today I want to talk about when interventions are not enough. And when will it be enough for Tommy Bice and the State Department of Education to take over Montgomery Public School System? The problems are so severe in Montgomery Public School System that it's not even funny. We have surpassed Selma city schools in sex scandals involving students, teachers, administrators, and so forth. So I don't know what's the difference between Montgomery Public School System and Selma School System. What's the difference in why they haven't taken over? How many administrators and teachers will be involved in sexual misconduct, inappropriate sexual behavior, not only with each other, sexual harassment and so forth, but with the students? I mean, how long? What is it going to take for one of them to murder the little children before they want to take over? Birmingham City School System, that was taken over. And I think because of the mayors. This is just my opinion. Birmingham has a black mayor. Selma had a black mayor. Montgomery, white mayor. They won't touch it. and I, for the life of me, do not know why. But when you have excessive force from school resource officers and police and teachers slamming children, breaking bones, strip searching minors, you criminalizing black boys, and nothing is done, it's a real problem. This year, and I guess because social media played a great part in exposing the number of alleged rapes of students in the school system, and in the school system, especially with our special need population, Montgomery Public School System, it's been great getting the exposure out there. But it's not enough that Montgomery Public School System is not moving on it. It is sad and it's very piss poor that we have a superintendent, Margaret, how you doing, who was in the special education field for over 35 years, maybe 38 years, and know the ins and outs, should know the law. Then she said she was an advocate. But you're not advocating now for the children. You're leaving it for the department heads who are inept and are not doing what they're supposed to do as far as following federal and state policy, procedures, laws. They're not even following the board policy. And as a leader, I fault you. Because, I mean, at some point, you cannot ignore it. Well, I gave it to Katrina Johnson in special ed, and she's supposed to look into it. Well, when are you going to follow up? And what are you going to do about it? Because clearly nothing is being done. We're looking at the focus monitoring report and how y'all are out of compliance. Then you get with Mayor Max Superintendent, hold a press conference. He won't allow you to open your mouth. You sitting down looking like Miss Jane Pittman, wanting to come off the porch for that sip of water at the white folks' water fountain, but you dare not to open your mouth. But I hope God is keeping you up at night. I hope God is chastising you, Margaret Allen. I really do. Because you're a black woman. Black woman. Mother of Earth. We black women queens. And you're acting like a mere peasant. And I just cannot wrap my head around you were in special ed for so many years. Avoiding calls. How many messages can Renee take in a day? You're not in that many meetings because we're not seeing results in Montgomery Public School System. The little awards that the Magna students are getting, wonderful. Wonderful. But y'all talking about, oh, the graduation rate has increased. What about the dropout rate? Because y'all don't factor in those 6th graders who are dropping out. You're not factoring in the 7th, 8th graders that are dropping out. We see them walking around all day long. But they're not counted in the statistics as those who drop out. The ones who are dropping out in the statistics, you all are not following the Alabama law that says you all are supposed to have an exit, like an exit interview to get the parent and the student up there to try to find a GED program in which that student is supposed to enroll. How do I know this? Because Representative McClammy, Dad McClammy, created that law. So, I mean, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And right now, you're being a vessel, being used, a vessel. And so I created a petition on change.org. And I want you all, I'll post a link on my Facebook page. I've tried to stay off Facebook to get some other issues taken care of along with this school system. And Melissa Snow, you're going to get your little complaint after a while because, again, you violated your OCR resolution in which Barbara Thompson signed when they put me out at Carver High School for allowing a white person to speak twice and didn't allow me to speak. So, well, what does this have to do? I know, Melissa Snow, you're probably asking. Don't worry, the complaint coming, boo-boo. I'm coming for you. You sent for me, I'm coming for you. Thank you. All right. Now, the letter or the petition is for the governor to step up because he is the president of the State Board of Education, just like he did in Alabama State's debacle. He needs to step up and have an emergency review of the MPS finance department and an immediate takeover of the school system. I really wish that they recall the vote on Superintendent Margaret Allen's 2-year contract, because if the school system is in non-compliance, according to the Alabama Administrative Codes, and she is the superintendent, they should not have extended her contract for 2 years, let alone 2 days or 2 hours. And that's just my opinion. Why? Because I'm looking at the Alabama Administrative Code and Tommy Bice, this is to you. Montgomery Public Schools have met the criteria for a state takeover. According to the Alabama Administrative Code 290-1-2-0.02, matters subject to review. The state superintendent of education may review actions and orders of county and city boards of education and of county superintendents of ed and city superintendents on the following matters. Matters related to health, safety, and welfare affecting persons attending the various schools of this state and their employees. Matters of health, safety, and welfare affecting the condition or operation of any facility utilized as a public school. C. A failure to comply with the state or federal law. A failure to comply with the rules and regulations of the State Board of Education, State Department of Education, or any other state or federal administrative agency. E. Other matters seriously affecting education and educational interests. The above matters include investigating a number of MPS employees who have been reprimanded or terminated due to inappropriate sexual misconduct, inappropriate sexual relations, sexual harassment, arrest of black boys, especially special needs students, and the number of suspensions of students, in particular, black boys. Not only that, we look at the fact They try to tell you can't speak at Board of Education meetings. You can't call names. That's violation of your constitutional right, the freedom of speech. Montgomery Public School System violations make Birmingham and Selma school cities look like a cakewalk in the park. Fun times. Because our situation is critical. Montgomery Public School System focus monitoring reports. You just look at the last 3 or 4 of them. Now, if they not following your state compliance rules, and y'all know this, State Department of Education, because you all send an agent out to do the focus monitoring reports, and they're not in compliance, corrective action plans may be submitted, but who's checking the checker to make sure that the follow-up, that they are back in compliance, because the same issues keep coming up. And that's what's so crazy about you, Tommy Bice, not following your own Alabama Administrative Code. I don't understand it. And let's go to my point, too. Alabama Administrative Code 290-4-1, the Education Accountability .01, Educational Accountability and Educational Intervention. Well, we've had intervention, according to y'all, about the grade changing scandal, and even with our financial officer. So we see Alabama Administrative Code 292-5, the Chief Finance Officer, and the duties and responsibilities, 290-2-5-02, and .03, .05. We can go on and on about the qualifications, the performance standards. We would like to know where we can find the monthly financial reports. Usually they're out, but we don't want no gaps. Now, I know Mr. Glover is gone. Everything should have been a smooth transition in which we saw no issues going on. But we know there are issues going on because everything is screwed up. Teachers asking parents for more paper, sanitizer, paper towel. Y'all go to these schools and check them out to see why your children are not being given worksheets or whatever, because they don't have the funding. And teachers do have lives too, so they can't use their personal funds for the public school system. That's not right for you to ask them to continue to buy equipment and supplies when the school system has not released funds. That's your duty. When the state Ways and Means allocate these funds to these school systems, y'all supposed to use them for what you're supposed to use them for. Now, which accounts? Well, let's look at the following accounts. The school improvement, the library enhancement, and some of these are new that the Ways and Means Committee and our legislator have allocated funds. Common purchasing, technology, student material, at-risk funds have been there. But we know Montgomery Public School does not use them. And the foundation program funds. We would like to know because several students are being denied services, which are, according to the State Department of Education's Administrative Code, are allocated from the federal and the state of Alabama. So if they're not being distributed to the schools and the centers, the children aren't getting the services, supplies, and equipment guaranteed by the governmental agencies which allocate them. Isn't it time to investigate where the money is? Okay, let's look at our special education department. We have a continued failure to comply with the focus monitoring report. I keep saying that because our special ed department keeps not following compliance orders given by the state and the feds. So, the findings of non-compliance, the immediate correction strategies on 30-day items, the improvement strategies, and documentation of corrective actions. Now, they'll make up something nice. We will update our files and stuff. But we would like for you to investigate the alleged misappropriation of funds and non-allocation of funds, especially for special needs services. Parents are being told that the school system don't have funds for therapeutic paraprofessionals, therapeutic aides, nurses, full-time nurses, and adequate services for free appropriate public education. It's been numerous complaints filed for violations on several federal, state, and local board policies, which have not been responded by Superintendent Margaret Allen. And you keep on listening to your legal staff, your contract attorneys, and y'all keep on doing these gag orders and being non-responsive. It's all going to come out where you're going to have to talk. Violations of IDEA, ADA, and Section 504 laws. And violations of the Montgomery Code of Student Conduct. Transportation, no buses. We have limited crossing guards. Children are walking over 2.5 miles to school, which is in violation of the state and federal laws. And special ed children are not being adequately transported. They have to wait. Say they transfer or whatever. I had to wait sometimes up to several weeks for a bus to take them to their new school. So all of these issues are factual, and I would love to see Mayor Max Superintendent try to say that these are misstatements from Karen Jones. Love for him to have a press conference to say that, because we're going to start getting these federal agencies involved, and we're going to start getting any agencies and these partners in ed need to know how their funding is not being appropriately allocated to these schools. How many schools do your children go to? Don't even have hand soap or paper towel. Well, they didn't give the money for that. Well, if they haven't and you all aren't using the funds for what you're supposed to use it for, then where are the funds? I'm just saying, y'all need to get it together. It's 2016. We have an election this year. 2 or 3 positions on the local board of education are up for grabs. We have some new candidates running, which I think is good. Hold everybody accountable. Put their feet to the fire. And when they don't do something, let's put in some recall laws. God knows Melissa Snow don't know why they made her the president with her nervous Nelly self. Very, very racist to me. She is. No doubt. Very racist. And her retaliatory, negative, nasty actions towards, in particular, me or anybody who comes to say something about the school system is so blatant. But we're going to try to get you together, Melissa. We're going to try to get you a little help, boo. Mental health is calling. You can pick up at any time. Anyway, I want you parents to make sure you call 223-6710. That's Margaret Allen. Call Eleanor Dawkins, because we have word today that Chisholm Elementary School does not have a school crossing guard on the backside, Brookwood and Kiwanis area streets. And we know that many of these elementary schools and middle schools do not have crossing guards. Again, another safety issue. We see that the mother of the special needs girl who was gang raped at South Lawn Middle School, the school system has said that they are putting in an order to dismiss the claim. Of course they will do that. They don't want you all to know that they are negligent in any child. But we're seeing an increase in MPS being very negligent in the safety procedural areas for special needs students. And they're getting raped, missing. And I say missing because you have parents reporting they're not coming home. They don't know where their children are. When they don't get off the bus, they have to go to the school to look, where is my child? My child's supposed to be put on the bus. These things are happening, and because the procedural safeguards of the school system is not happening, they are, and when I say they, I say Montgomery Public School System, who are out of compliance, are not being careful with your children. And I'm not bashing everybody in the school system, because you do have some very hard-working individuals. Go to work, sun up, stay there to sundown. Never get recognized for their great work. But those individuals who are in position to do a better job are not doing it. And it's falling down and making good teachers go bad. When you see these sexual harassment cases from principals to teachers being filed, or teachers on principals, it's very sad. Just a lot of unprofessionalism going on in our school system. And everybody is grown, as long as you're a consenting adult, but be professional. Be discreet. If you have to be a male whore or a female whore, whatever you need to do, be discreet in your business. Be professional in what you do. And so I leave you with that. Contact Margaret Allen today. Just give her a call, 223-6710, and see how she's doing. Ask her about your child's school. See if she can give you an answer, or will she redirect you to somebody else. It's just time out. I remember a time when, and I'm not saying micromanage these schools, but have a general idea of what's going on in your school system is what's best for all children. I don't care if they were polka dot blue and purple. Find out what's going on in these school systems. Help these children who they are pushing out and actually forcing to drop out. See, they're not telling you that. And this is a long video because I haven't been on Facebook in a while. But you need to share this, talk about it, see what solutions we can have. Number one, we need to, when the legislative session comes back, ask for a recall law on these superintendents. And some of these board positions, recall law, that we can recall the votes that put them in that position and then put them out of that position. Because if somebody entrusts you with their vote, you should work for them. That is all for today. Happy Monday. We playing football tonight. Roll Tide. We trying to see if we can bring it on home for a Sweet 16 victory. Everybody take care and have a happy Monday.